Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I just wanted to come in and run my mouth and talk about the mess, baby. So the basketball wives. Hey, Evelyn. What did CC used to call Evelyn? Evelyn. Was it Evelyn? Evelyn. OG. Shout out to OG.
Cinco wanted me. Ocho Cinco wanted me. Girl, bye. Ocho was in my DMs heavy, boo.
Laura Govan was dragging Evelyn down to the social media. So, long story short, I don't know why, but Gilbert Arenas, which is Laura's baby daddy, he was interviewed by Evelyn and Shanice, which is Evelyn's daughter. They have a podcast together. Why would Gilbert need to go down to Evelyn's podcast? I have no earthly idea why. Like, it doesn't even make sense to me. I think we can start there. Why does Gilbert Arenas need to be interviewed by Evelyn Lozada and Shanice? It makes no sense. The only thing I can think of, not to get ahead of the story, is Evelyn was being messy. And Gilbert was being messy too. All right, y'all. So I'm going to play a clip of Gilbert and Evelyn. The clip is about 5 minutes and some change. And then after I play the clip, I'll also let you know the response of what Laura had to say due to the clip going viral, I guess. So let's go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage.
Child support kicking my ass. Stay down.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, so with the child support, so there's like all this, you always hear things, right? So I know you were paying like a crazy amount at some point, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So does that change once you retire? Is that like the issue with the court and going back?
Yeah. So, different states have different rules. So different states is friendlier to men than others, right? So.
But California
and New York. Yeah, you are hit across the head. So in Cali use a Dissomaster. So it's not about how much you have, it's about how much you make, right? So let's say you're a billionaire, but you don't make anything, right? It's like everything is frozen, assets, you're not making anything. You don't have to pay child support. Right? If you're making 300,000 and you have zero in the savings, they're going off at 300,000 and that's what you're paying child support off of. So they just put your number in, put how many days or your percentage of seeing them. They put, the woman's income in, and then it goes from there. Then they spit out a number, which obviously whoever makes the money is not going to like. And then you fight. One's fighting to get it down. One is fighting to keep it there or go up. Right. So, during my battle, the number was 244. So 244,000 a month. So yeah, that's what, I was offering nice little 20. You got a little 20, little dub. We good. Laughed at that dub. Nigga, please. Right.
Damn.
Then, that's what the court battle was about the whole time.
244,000 a month is insanity. Like, that's for 3 children?
It was 4.
4 kids.
Yeah, it was 4. The bad, it wasn't even a bad part, but it was, and then I pay for school, and then I pay for the house, and then I pay for nanny. So it's like, what is the 244 for?
So then you retire, right? So you're not making the same income.
Yeah. So yeah, once my income dropped, I went in there like, I don't make that kind of money to support, the child support. So right off the jump, it dropped from 44,000 to about 7 overnight. There was no decline. It was just 44 to 7 and then boom. And then from there, it was just the kids, so the youngest, so always, if you have multiple, the youngest kid is always worth the most. So, so if you have more, then eventually, like whoever the youngest is, they're going to be worth the most, and then it just drops off when they turn 18.
Well, you almost done, huh?
Yeah.
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 How do you feel about that? Because I feel like I feel like your obviously everybody knows, we hear things like your co-parenting relationship has been a very public thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you feel about that? Because, I mean, you're almost done because your youngest with that situation is 16?
14.
14. Okay, so you got 4 more years.
Yeah, but there's never really a co-parenting issue. We've never had a co-parenting issue where we disagreed on something about the kids. It's always been a money issue, right? You don't have it. You want me to pay for it because you don't want to pay for it. You know what I mean? It's always those like, okay, we're going on vacation and I'm taking 30 people. You got to pay for it. Nah. You know, those are the issues, right? So, the money falling off or staying on, it didn't matter to me. It was, you know, I just wanted to have the relationship with the children because I was raised by a single father. So all I know is be there. So, you know, paying $5,000, $7,000, it really didn't matter. Like the judge, in my case, it was $20,000 is what the judge gave. I gave an extra $15,000 just to leave me alone. So that's how I got the 44. So it was 20 plus I pay for school. And then I added $15,000 more, just leave me alone and don't talk about me in the papers, nothing. Just let me be. That didn't work. Took that motherfucking money and just kept going it.
Did you ever stop her from doing Basketball Wives, or did you ever try to stop her from doing Basketball Wives?
No, I never tried to stop her from working. Because think about it, if you're working, that's your income, right? So get some income, goddammit. Well, I put a gag order on the show. So y'all remember what it was like season 2011. So it was season 2, season 1 of LA. I put a gag order on the show where they can't use my name. Because at that point, I'm still playing and I don't know nothing about the show and I don't want my name just being bashed all over the place. Just got off some gun stuff, so I'm already image conscious. So I was like, I don't need her going in there and just throwing me under the bus. You know, I'm.
Now, I hate to bring her up because I wasn't, but when I tell you niggas do not like paying child support, but they will pay for pussy in a heartbeat because from what the streets say, didn't you pay for Dreas?
Now, why am I in it?
And you could have did it.
See, I get
I
wrong
did because you never
I didn't did
apologized.
that.
So you can pay for pussy, but you can't pay to take care of your children.
I think I'm considered a hoe no more. I don't really got nobody in the last like 2 or 3 years.
She said no more.
Don't say no. No, your wholeness can get deleted. Your wholeness can get deleted.
I'm just saying. And if you pay for Dreas, we know you pay for more than Dreas. Because when niggas get access to money, they trick it out. It ain't tricking if you got it, so I'm not mad at it. Girl, work ain't honest, but it pays the bills. If you want something, you pay for it, right? May the best woman win. But if you pay for Drea's twat, then I'm sure you pay for other girls' twats. And maybe even a couple of I'm just playing. You never know nowadays, baby. I'm just saying. Okay. So let me go ahead and tell you guys Laura's response to what was said, and then I'll give my opinion. Laura said, "It's kind of funny how this lady done ran through every big 3, but got so much to say about me. Let's see. R&B, MLB, NBA, NFL, RAP, ABC, NBC, BET, MTV, HOV. Got a STD, maybe even HIV.
Name them. Name them.
Well, what you did was ridiculous.
Name them.
Not having.
Name 'em.
Well, be quiet. So
Name
let
'em.
me talk. Jesus.
Name them.
There's a lot of things kids need in life, but few of them need to know that their mama was a hoe.
All in the back of a car, but got the audacity to ask about me. Let's keep it cute, Goofy. Hear a truth. Every chick Corny Gill has interviewed with, he has slept with. Fun facts. Goofy Ann. You better leave me alone, bro. I got real facts. You should be worrying about our children instead of all the lies you tell. I'm real effing sick of you in your storytelling.
Shut your bitch ass up before I get to talking shit about you.
Now go run tell that. Okay. I saw people in the comment section saying they don't understand why Laura is so mad at Evelyn. And this is coming from someone who used to go up for Evelyn Lozada. Evelyn, Tammy, you know, she's homophobic. Evelyn, you know, she's a colorist. Girl, did y'all hear about Onika? Onika, she's a MAGA, but she ain't the only one. We'll talk about that in another video. You know what's so sad? Let me just say this. It's so sad that all of our faves are problematic in some way. That's why you're going to have to just get to the point where you decide who you're going to fool with and who you're not going to fool with. Because if we're going to be honest, Beyonce and Sean, they were right at that table with Ivanka and her husband. Don't ever forget. She might not be out here giving speeches, but that was a clear message to me. Snoop and Nelly was shucking and jiving. Girl, all at the inauguration. Girl, I'm getting off subject. I'm getting off subject. We'll talk about that in another video. All right, so back to Evelyn and Laura. There are people in the comment section who didn't understand why Laura had smoke for Evelyn. And I'm going to explain to you why. And this is coming from someone who used to love Evelyn. And I still, you know, I'm going to be honest, I still have a little soft spot for the colorist Heifer. I do, you know. She needs to work on some stuff. But that don't mean that just because I got a soft spot for you that we're not going to call out fuck shit either. Evelyn got dragged by Laura because Evelyn is being messy. Now, I don't know if Evelyn is looking for a new storyline for the upcoming season of Basketball Wives or what. That's one of the things that popped in my mind. Maybe she's doing this to get Laura back on the show so Evelyn will have something to talk about. There was no need for Evelyn to bring Gilbert down to her podcast. One, why? Two, why are we discussing child support as if you don't know how the child support system works? The last time we heard, you were dragging Wendy Williams when she said that you had that baby girl, aka a cash register. Y'all don't remember when Wendy Williams said that down to the Wendy Williams show and Evelyn got pissed off and told us how Kelvin was down to her store buying some shoes for another lady? Girl, now, I'm not mad at Evelyn for dragging Wendy because Wendy passed the first lick. But what I'm saying is, Evelyn, you don't need Gilbert to explain to you how the child support system works. I'm sure you and your homegirls in LA know exactly, girl, how child support works. So right then and there, you're being messy. Oh, what? 244. Like, you're being messy. She's being messy. You don't need an explanation from Gilbert Arenas on how child support works. I'm sure you went down this road a couple of times. I'm sure your homegirls who are in Los Angeles, California, the ones who probably hit the jackpot with a rich baby daddy, I'm sure they can explain to you how it works. And then another thing too, Laura was just on Basketball Wives, what? The season before last? If you had any questions about her child support situation with Gilbert, you could have asked her right then and there. You could have asked her then. Was it last year or the year before last? Whatever season it was, Laura was just on Basketball Wives. I think it was last season. I think. It doesn't matter, girl. It was recently. It was recent enough for for Evelyn to inquire about anything she needed to know regarding child support or whatever question she had about Laura and the setup that she had with Gilbert. Okay? So that's one, why she's being messy. The next thing I want to talk about is Gilbert and these numbers he threw out. This is the thing, right? As someone said online, the truth is somewhere in the middle. Do I believe? Because Laura also put something about it being $244. Exaggerating, but like she said something along the lines of try like $244, not $244,000. We know that that was an exaggeration. Gilbert started off saying that he paid $244,000 a month in child support. That's what he said. Okay? He then followed and said, I was offering a nice little 20. He also said that he paid for school, house, and a nanny. And what was the $244 for? Then he says, when he stopped making that type of money, he let them know, and it dropped from $44,000 to $7,000 overnight. And then he also said that it was 20 at one point, but he added 15,000 to basically just make her shut up and go away. And then when you added in the school, it made its way up to 44. So it sounds like what Gilbert is doing. One, if he had to make a payment of $244,000, it was probably either back pay, but I don't think that he was just making $244,000 payments a month. I don't think that. Because then you slip up and say that it was 20. You slip up and say that you offered her a nice little 20. And this is another thing too, how you know he lied somewhere in what he's saying. If you offered her 20 before they said it was 244, there's no way that once it did make it down, this is the, y'all have to tell me what y'all think, because this is what I got from what he was saying. This is how I'm processing it. There's no way that you offered her 20 when they said the payment was 244, and then when it finally made its way back down to 20, you offered her an additional 15. I don't believe that. If your initial offer to her was $20,000, right? $5,000 per kid, basically. When you finally got it down to the $20,000, you just didn't go out of the kindness of your heart offer this heifer $15,000 extra just because. It sounds like he's also adding in the fact that, well, I'm not gonna say fact, but he is also adding in that he's saying he had to pay for school, housing, and a nanny. So I think he's adding that part into the child support payment too. You know how they'll say the child support payment is this, and then you also might have to pay for the private education. You might also have to pay for this too, and that's outside of the child support payment. I don't think Gilbert is telling all the truth, because to start out the conversation saying that you were paying $244 and then somehow we ended at $7,000. Girl. Now let me say this also. The systems are broken, right? I'm not gonna come on here and play in y'all face and act like there's not a dollar amount that can't come across as too much to raise a child, right? I'm sure if Jeff Bezos had to pay child support, his child support payments would be out of this world. And at some point we will say, girl, that's a lot of, girl, you don't need that much money to raise no child. However, I think that sometimes when people hear about these nice child support payments, because girl, for us, our mamas and daddies, whoever was receiving the child support, they might get $150, $125, $500 a month, and you make it work. So in your head, you're thinking, if I can make it work off the 150 I receive from this nigga, then you don't need that much to raise a child. But the fact of the matter is, your child, you can't compare your child to, say, a Northwest or a Blue Ivy. Every child, every family is different. While it may not take that much to raise Laura Govan's kids, it might take that much to raise Kim Kardashian kids. While it might not take that much to raise us, it might take way more than that to raise the Carter Knowles kids. So it's kind of hard to say what you can and what you don't need to raise a kid, because depending on what child you're talking about, depending on how their life is set up, whether they need 24/7 security detail, whether they have a private driver, whether they have a 24-hour nanny, like, you just don't know. You see what I'm saying? And I think it's so hard for people to fathom that there are children out there in this world. It may not be a lot, right? There are children out in this world who do live a certain lifestyle, and that money actually does cover what needs to be covered. Laura did not create the child support system, okay? The person who feels like they're getting the shorter end of the stick, that's the person that's going to be pissed off. Whether it's Halle Berry, Britney Spears, Gilbert, or whomever. Who's ever getting the shorter end of the stick, that's who's going to feel like they're pissed off at the system. You can't get mad at the person who basically just, I'm going to her and found child support. I'm filing child support, and this is what the payment is based off of your income. Because the fact of the matter is, as trifling as it may sound, if you fucked around and had a famous baby mama or a famous baby dad, not even famous, girl, fame ain't got nothing to do with it, because you can be famous and broke. If you end up having a baby by a wealthy person or a rich person, and your child support payments just happen to be $175,000 per month, bitch, you not gonna take it? If your child support payments for one child just happen to be $70,000 per month, you're not going to take it? If your child support payments for $40,000 a month, you're not going to take it? Hell yeah, you're going to take it. And also, if you know that you had a baby by someone who was rich, and they were probably offering you $5,000 per month, you would probably try and get more money just based off of the fact that you know this motherfucker got a $200 million contract. You see what I'm saying? It just is what it is. It is what it is. But we can't blame Halle Berry's baby daddy or Kevin Federline, girl. We can look at them like they crazy. We can look at them as less of a man, right? You can look at the bitches as gold diggers, but at the end of the day, girl, they didn't create the system. They didn't. I don't think that Gilbert is telling the full truth about how much he's paying, though, or how much he paid. I don't. Was it thousands of dollars? Yes, I do believe that. Was it 244? I don't believe that. Can I see him probably having to make a one-time payment of 244, and then maybe at one point he was probably paying 44? I could probably see that. But then I don't see him offering $20,000 to her, and then, because that's what he offered her from the get-go, that's what he said. But then out of the kindness of your heart, you would just offer her an additional $15,000. No, because you wanted to give her $20,000 from when it was brought up. So why would you then just add $15,000 just because, on top of you already complaining about that you have to pay for the house, a nanny, and school? You see, like, niggas be like, that ain't what happened. Girl, that ain't what happened. I'm not believing it. Do I believe he was probably paying $7,000? Yes. And another thing too, like, I hate talking about child support because I really can see how some people need that money. Girl, raising kids in Los Angeles, California is not the same thing as raising kids in Houston, Texas. The cost of living is completely fucking different, and y'all know it. Raising kids in New York is not the same thing as raising kids in Dallas, Texas, or even Atlanta. Everybody's kids are set up differently. And if you have the chance to provide your child with the best things that money can buy, then I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you are. Right? If you have the opportunity to provide your child with the best education, the best tutors, your child knows 4 or 5 different languages by the time they turn 18, like the best zip code, the best school, like whatever, you are going to do it. And again, depending on what child we're talking about, that will make a determination in how I could see that child living. I could. Do I believe that Laura Govan's kids lived the lifestyle of like a Blue Ivy or Northwest? Absolutely, I do not. Okay? Do I believe the money that Blue Ivy and Northwest, the money their parents spend on them when you factor in security detail, nannies, all that stuff is the same amount that you would need for the Govan kids? No. But do I believe that it could still take a few thousands of dollars to raise those kids, especially in LA? Yes, I do. Girl, I went off into a whole rant. Anyways, so it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not mad at Laura for dragging Evelyn because, Evelyn, you were being very, very messy. There was no need to bring, quiet as it's kept, if we're going to be honest, there was no need for Evelyn to bring Gilbert on her platform. Like in real life, why the fuck would Gilbert Arenas need to be on Evelyn Lozada's platform? I could see him probably down the club Shay Shay. Evelyn would have did better by bringing on some messy ass YouTuber. Bitch, I would be a better fit to go on to Evelyn's platform and be messy and kiki before Gilbert Arenas. You see what I'm saying? Evelyn was being messy. And Laura caught the mess and was dragging Evelyn. It is what it is. I'm not mad at Laura. I'm not. At all. You can't. I'm not saying that Evelyn has said this, but Evelyn, y'all can't claim to be girls, and then get messy and bring on a nigga. And Evelyn, you know how these niggas lie. So I don't know why the fuck you think he gonna tell you the truth. The nigga sat there and said about 5 or 6 different numbers within 5 minutes. Like Evelyn, you know firsthand how the niggas lie. And you still would bring that man down to your platform to let him tell a story. And within that time, you know the sad thing about it? Not one time did I hear Evelyn, girl, check him on what he was saying. Because ain't no way you going to sit there in front of my motherfucking face and say you were paying $244,000 and then, girl, a few seconds later, say it was $44,000. Whoa. I don't want to stop you. But you just say you were paying $244,000 a month. Now you're saying you were paying $44,000 a month. That's a big difference. Now I'm not this mathematician, but girl, that sounds like a $200,000 difference. So why did you say you were just paying $244,000 and now you're saying you were paying $44,000? And why did you say that you offered her $20,000, but then when you finally got down to the $20,000, out of the kindness of your heart, you just offered her an extra $15,000? See, that's how the shit should have went. Because I'm not going to let no nigga just sit there and just say all types of bullshit to me. Okay? Because we clocking and checking in real time. Now, explain this to me like I'm slow. I ain't never been good at math. Let me bring my calculator out. Okay, now what you said? Now you was paying how much? Because you was already complaining about paying the house, the school, and the nanny, and you just going to give her an extra $15,000? I don't believe it. I don't believe it, Gilbert. I ain't trying to call you no lie to your face, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Okay. Anyways, I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good night. Bye, y'all.